won't you please do something stupid so I can get over you? If you really cared about me, it's the least that you would do. The perfect man's not in my plans, I got too much to do. So won't you please do something stupid so I can get over you? Hey pickers, Carla here, and today I've got one of my own songs that I'm going to show you, Please Do Something Stupid, by request. This has a lot of jazz chords in it, so I'm going to show you everything I learned in 4 months of jazz lessons in one video. Also, I'm going to show you 2 ways to play this song, because the jazz chords can be a little daunting if you've never done them. So I'll also show you just the regular way to play with more open chords, like, you know, G, E7. So I'm going to show you 2 versions, but I'll show you the harder version first. And if you find it really challenging and frustrating, just skip forward to the simplified version, which will have all the same chords, just done down here where you're more familiar chords that you already probably know. Okay, so let's start with the intro. The first chord is an E7. Not this E7 that you probably know back here, but this E7. And all this is if you make a C chord and then add your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, you got C7. Then we move this whole thing up 1 fret, C sharp 7, 2 frets, D7, move it up 1 more fret, we've got D sharp 7, and then we move it up right here where the 1st finger's on the 5th fret, pinky's on the 7th fret, bird finger is on the 6th fret, and 3rd finger is on the 7th fret. And then you can also hit these open E strings, because we're hitting an E chord, so you can hit them all, because E is part of an E7 chord, of course. So that's your first chord. And I do like to hit that low note because it's the intro. We're making a big dramatic entrance. I could always find a reason. So that's your first chord, and this shape is going to show up again. But the second shape is this, A7. Now, you may know A7 like this, and you can play it that way. In the easy version, we'll do it that way. This way is more of the jazz way of doing it, where they leave out a couple notes, because you gotta leave some space for the piano and the bass and all that. So you don't want to hog up all the space by hitting 6 notes. So this is straight. It's based off of this. You may know this A7, which is just E7 moved up, right? If we do E7 and then shuffle our fingers around so that the 1st finger is free, and then scoot it up, we get F7. Scoot it up, we get F sharp 7. Scoot it up, we get G7. Scoot it up, we get G sharp 7. Scoot it up, we get A7. Okay, so we could do it this way. That's a big fat honking chord there with lots of notes, 6 notes. And the way the jazz guys take this chord and leave out a few notes. So you leave your 1st finger where it is, and then you put the 2nd finger where your bar was on the 4th string. Same fret, 5th fret. And then ring finger, 3rd finger on the 2nd string. Same fret, 5th fret. And then we take the pinky. This is a little bit of like playing Twister with your fingers here. We take the pinky and put it there on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. And then what you're going to do with the 5th string is mute it with your 1st finger. So you let that 1st finger slop over and mute it. And then the 1st string is also going to be muted. I'm muting it with my 1st finger. You could probably, no, you can't mute it with your 2nd. It really needs to be done with your 1st. So my 1st finger is muting it back here at the 4th. So what you get is thud, thud. So you're only getting 4 notes. Now, why would we do this instead of an open chord? Because with this, you can play it and then lift it. And that's you get your nice swinging sound. That's for your swing music. play it and then lift your left hand, and it gives you a mute. You could do the same thing with your right hand. It's a lot more work, and it's hard to get the timing as smooth. So the reason we play these is to get that sound instead of... I can lift with this one, but all the open strings keep ringing. So it's kind of noisy and jangly. It doesn't give you that swing sound. Okay, so we've done 2 chords so far, but we've learned a lot of other things about jazz in the meantime, haven't we? So let's go back and review. We've got the E7 with the first finger at the 5th fret, which is just C7 moved up, right? C chord with the pinky added. And we can hit the 6th string open. The second chord is this A7, which you could do this way, and you could still do the mute this way too. Okay, so either way. The next chord is D7, and it's going to be exactly like the E7 or the C7 shape, same thing, right? Except now we can't hit the 6th string unless you move the 3rd finger. You can do that. You move the 3rd finger to the 6th string, and now you've got the 5th of the chord, and mute out the 5th string. But let's just do it this way to keep it somewhat simple. Okay, so we have, I could always find a reason. A7, why a man was not my style. He was rude or crude or stupid. And then I just do a regular G. Bar chord. Okay, and that's the E shape moved up, right? E, with your fingers swapped around so your first finger's free. F, F sharp, G. Okay, could do open, but again, you won't get the mute. So that's what I'm after, the staccato sound. Short chords. And then the next chord is G sharp diminished. This is a really, really useful chord, this diminished shape. Most people, when they learn the diminished, they learn it this way on the guitar. And it's first finger, 3rd fret, 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, 3rd finger, 4th fret on the 3rd string, and pinky on the 4th fret of the 1st string. So it's kind of this spidery looking thing. That's usually how people learn the diminished chord. But what we're going to do is remove the 1st string, and we're just not going to hit it. We're just only going to hit the 6 5 4 3, 6 5 4 3 with the pick. So we'll remove that, and then we'll take this G sharp and put it on this string, on this G sharp. In order to do that, got to take the 2nd finger, the bird finger. We're going to remove that and do that. So we have 4th fret, and then we're going to mute 5th string, and then 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and this is that creepy horror movie chord, the diminished chord. So then we have the 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And then we get this. Thud. Alright, this is really, really useful chord. It's a good passing chord. It's good for transitioning to any chord. And then after that, diminished chord, we have D7. We're back to that. And I do it with the ring finger on the 6th string. That way we get on the 6th string. But you can also just do it this way. Okay, so that takes us through I could always find a reason why a man was not my style, A7, D7, and I've got my ring finger on the 5th string, the 6th string for this. Is rude or crude or stupid, or a G sharp diminished, and D with that ring finger on the 5th, D7 with the ring finger on the 6th string. And then it goes back and starts again. Totally repeats. It's the exact same section. second time, you just go plain, only hit the D7 one time. See, the first time you'll go, would you ever smile, hold it. But the second time you cut it short. So you didn't ever smile, but you are kind and charming and the model of restraint. You're just what I was looking for, and that is my complaint. Short. Won't you? Now we're at the chorus. So that was the intro. This is the chorus. G chord. And this is all chunk, chunk. Chunk, chunk. 2 of those. And then B7, which is just like the A7, only now it's at the 7th fret. Something. And then E7, just like the beginning. A7, E7, A7, D7. Now, new chord, A minor 7. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can just do this. Doesn't sound quite as good, but you can do it. So it's, you know how E minor, and then you bar it, and you move it, and you move it, and you move it, and you move it, and until it's the 5th fret. So you can do A minor. You remove the pinky, it makes it A minor 7. I'm not doing anything with my second finger. All right? Or we could do it the jazz way, which is the second finger on the 6th string at the 5th fret, the 3rd finger mashing down all 3 of these, 4, 3, 2, and we're muting the 5th string. So we get, and then mute on the 1st string. And then play it and lift it. Play, lift, play, lift, play, lift, play, lift. That's how we get that sound. Just work on that, because that alone is a skill that takes some coordination. So if you haven't done it before, spend some time just doing any bar chord and play, lift, play, lift, play, lift, play, lift, until you get a groove going. Okay? So this was our A minor 7. You can do it the jazz way, which some people's knuckles won't collapse. So you could also do this, use all 4 fingers, and then just try to mute that first. I'm muting the 1st string with this far part of my 1st finger. And I'm muting the 5th string with the 1st joint of my 1st finger. Not the joint, but the pad of my finger there. So you can also do it that way. If the knuckle won't collapse, you can do it that way. And it's fine. Looks like a little claw there. Okay. And then back to D7. And then G sharp diminished, D7, and back, we're doing the chorus. Okay, that was the first part of the chorus, and then the second half of the chorus is almost identical. The G, B7, E7, 2 A7s, 2 E7s, 4 A7s, 2 D7s, A minor 7, D7, and then the second time you will end it like this: G, C9, G. Okay, C9, let's cover that. And again, we've got this collapsed knuckle thing. So first we have second finger on C, which is the 3rd fret. 1st finger on E, which is the 2nd fret. And then we've got the 3rd finger covering 3, 3, 3 on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. Okay, so again, if that collapsed finger thing is a little tough for you, you can try covering just 2 and then use the pinky on the first string. If you can get that 9th chord, it's super useful, and it is movable because it's all closed off. So it is, you know, C9, C sharp 9, D9, E flat 9. It's used a lot in jazz. So if you want to play jazz, try to work at it until you can get that finger to collapse. And, you know, try putting your wrist at different angles until you get clear notes. All right, and that is the chorus. The other section is, I guess you could say, a verse. It's hard to call it a bridge because it's so long, so let's call it a verse. And that's the, at the dinner table, you did not show me your So you see it's the same chords again, right? They're just in a different order. And this is like the intro. But now instead of the big long, I could always find a reason, now we're doing chunk, 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 chunk. Okay? So we've got 2 measures of E7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now A7, 2 measures. You did not show me your scar. You did not. D7. Say you were in movies. 2 G's. I could 2 G sharp diminished. And then goes to D7 with that finger move to the 6th string. Okay? And then repeat. Not show me your scar. You did not say you were in movies. That is my complaint. And now we're back to the chorus. Won't you please do something stupid so I can get over you? If you really cared about me, it's the G sharp diminished, D7 with an A bass, the perfect man's not E7. I got too much to do, so won't you please do something stupid so I can get C9 over you? And then there's a turnaround. D7, A minor 7, D7, G, C9, G. And then I do the slide. I'll start on D7. Alright, so just slide up 2 frets. Start on D7, end on E7. Sweep me off my feet. Okay, and then the only thing left to do as far as sections go is the ending, which is just the turnaround again. It's right after the last chorus. So I can get over you. Turn around, D7 with an A bass, A minor 7, D7, either way, and then G, C9, G, and then I do this G6 up here, which is another collapsed finger chord. 2, 1, 1. So I'm calling out finger numbers. That's the 10th fret, 9, 9, 10, 10. Chet Atkins uses this chord a lot. It makes a nice ending. And then we can grab this G down here with our other hands. That's the ending. All right, so that's everything. Now, next I'm going to do the simpler version with the more open chords. You could do this whole song with just open chords that you're more familiar with. I could always find a reason why a man was not my style. He was rude or crude or stupid, or he didn't. You're still gonna have to do the diminished. You could do this one. Ever smile. You are kind and charming and the model of restraint. And I would still do that. So this time you'll mute it with your right hand. You're just what I was looking for. And that is my complaint. Won't you please do something stupid so I can get over you? If you really cared about me. So A minor 7 is going to be like C with an open 5th string. And then D7, triangle, G diminished. All right, we covered this before. And then D7. And then it repeats. G, B7, E7, 4 beats. 2 beats on the A7, 2 beats on the E7, 4 beats on the A7. 2 beats on the D7, A minor 7. 2 beats, D7. And then to end this section, G, C or C7, G. And then the turnaround. This happens after the chorus, little 4 measure thing. G, C7. Now, this will be the verse. At the dinner table, 2 measures. You did A7, 2 measures. D7, not say you were in movies. 7th, measure D7, and then repeat. E7, 2 measures, A7, 2 measures, D7, 2 measures, 2 beats of G, 2 beats of G diminished 7th, and then the second time you'll stop the chord with your right hand. Won't you please do, and then back to the chorus. And then the ending will be the turnaround. D7, A minor 7, D7, A, G, C7. How about a G6 like that with an open first string? So that's the version with the more open chords that most people are familiar with. Okay, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see what I'm going to put up next, because I'm kind of curious, what am I going to put up next? Who knows? Hit subscribe and find out. Meanwhile, happy picking.